All right, well, welcome to Tony's Table. Today we're going to be speaking with my good friend Maria Hurley, who has been recently spending a lot of time in Tallahassee, finding about the laws and everything going on within our state to help us pass our cannabis rules. And today we're going to be making adult version of her childhood favorite, baked mac and cheese with some smoked Gouda, some peppery bacon. I mean, we're just going to make this an adult version of something that she felt comfortable with. Come on, let's go eat. All right, so we're here with Maria of Smart Collective, and as I told you, we're going to make some adult mac and cheese today. So just a little bit about, before we get into talking really about the things that you're doing, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why was this baked mac and cheese special to you? Because I'll tell you, growing up in where I grew up at in the Midwest, you know, mac and cheese is a thing. You know, baked mac and cheese, you can get in trouble if you mess it up, you know, and you know, I know you're, you know, from Detroit and everything, and it's like, I'm used to this being a comfort food where I'm at in the Midwest, so can you tell me a little bit why is this important to you?
Well, every kid loves mac and cheese, right? Only I didn't grow up eating it out of a box. My grandparents raised me, and everything we made was made the way they grew up making it, which was never out of a box.
It's a family meal.
Yeah, absolutely.
What drives you to be a part of the cannabis culture here in Florida?
Well, cannabis has always fascinated me. It's been a friend of mine for many, many years. But it wasn't too long ago that I really started to learn about the good medicinal properties of cannabis. Just like I believe many people in Florida right now, we're all in a learning process.
Okay.
I am a patient of the medical marijuana program here in Florida, and unfortunately, we only have a 2-hour program to educate doctors on how our program is supposed to run and they're not taught in medical school about the endocannabinoid system or anything like that. So unless a doctor is coming from a background from out west or having their own personal interest in cannabis, there's an education gap missing there, which some of the patients have been trying to fill themselves by helping each other. I have a friend, Charlotte Lambers, who runs a group on Facebook called Patients First, and she absolutely does a fantastic job of linking patients up with different ways that they can help their different conditions, and people sharing their stories of what's worked for them and what hasn't worked for them. And so we're all going through that learning process together with cannabis as a medicine.
I want to know more about Maria and what she does with Smart Collective.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me about you know, I mean, of course I know about your role as the director of our advocacy, the philanthropy. Can you tell us exactly, you know, there's a lot of us that may not actually know what it means to be an advocate and can you explain to us what that means?
I am certainly still a babe in the woods when it comes to patient advocacy. There are a lot of fantastic advocates, and I'm thankful for the education that they've given me in the state of Florida since the medical program has come on and I've gotten actively involved in the political arena, both locally and at the state level. That being said, I recognized that if there were a whole lot of things that I didn't know as a patient, even though I wasn't cannabis naive, that I wanted to get more involved with it. I wanted to learn more. And then a situation came up where I found out that they were banning dispensaries in different cities and counties throughout Florida, and that I thought, we voted for this. This can't be happening. This can't happen.
I remember when we first started hearing about these, it was like you went from knowing and understanding and seeing what was going on to literally, I gotta help do something about this. And it was amazing to see that switch of you know, you were doing things, you were helping educate people, but that passion took off when, like, why are you taking away what not only did we pass in law, but we passed in constitutional law. And I know as your friend, I'm just proud to see what you've been doing. And, well, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this was your first time in Tallahassee for our legislative session this year.
Ever. My first time in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Probably my first visit to a state capitol ever. I had zero interest in politics previously. But
okay, now that I didn't quite realize.
As I started learning more about our medical program and took a trip out to Oregon and saw that their medical program was falling to the wayside when recreational had come on strong. And they have a great recreational program, but unfortunately, the medical program has just fallen apart. It became a passion of mine to want to be a part of that not happening in Florida. I am all for freeing the plant and legalization.
Absolutely.
But I would love to have a strong medical program because we have a lot of seniors in Florida. We have a lot of veterans in Florida. We have a lot of disabled people in Florida who are on this medical cannabis program and are cannabis naive and need to learn how to use it for themselves. And that just can't go away when we just skip over and go recreational.
What did you see while you were in Tallahassee that might pertain to the laws changing? What is the atmosphere going, what can we expect the rest of this year and going into, we know here in this is 20, we got a Senate legislative voting session coming up soon. How does the new votes coming and with what's going on in Tallahassee right now, how is that going to affect cannabis in the future for us here in Florida?
Well, I took it upon myself to go learn about politics in Tallahassee, and I was thankful to have what I call super advocates who were willing to teach me the ropes politically of what was going on in that city.
Okay.
Legislative session ran from January to March this year. So I kept seeing this guy online that I've known for a while who's always going to Tallahassee by the name of Gary Stein. And I said, I got to roll with him.
Oh, he is definitely
Absolutely.
Smart in all things, not just all things cannabis, but things in the healthcare. I didn't know some of the things, some of his history. And when he was like, yeah, come with me, let's do some things. I was like, she is good. Boom. What does come next for Maria when session's not happening? You spoke a little bit about the dispensary bans and things like that. I understand you have a group to organize people to help focus on stopping these bans. You want to tell us a little bit about what you got going on there too?
There are a couple of things that I would definitely like to bring attention to. I am only a spoke in the wheel of advocacy. I speak as one voice, but together we are much stronger, and we need to grow an army of people who are willing to come out of the green closet, so to speak, and speak their stories. This plant has given us so much. We need to give back to that plant. You give back to that plant by giving its freedom to us through your voice, either locally by going to city council meetings and commissioner meetings and getting to know your local politicians and what their viewpoints on cannabis is, or get involved with a fantastic organization such as FLCAN, Florida Cannabis Action Network.org. They are the oldest continuing reform marijuana organization in Florida, and they spent, part of their organization, Jody James and Ethel Rowland, actually spend the entire session in Tallahassee, and I joined them for that ride for this year. And it was a wild ride, but I absolutely learned a lot from these women who have been doing this for many, many years. And so I encourage people to get involved. The way you talked about getting involved with the dispensary bans, I do have a Facebook group called Dispensary Ban Warriors Unite.
Okay.
And through there, whatever information through the channels we get, whether it be from a local resident or somebody else posting it on Facebook, we try to get the information that we've gotten that's going to be talked about at an agenda and whatever date.
Try to pool as much information, get as much information to the people in that area so that they have the proper tools to talk to their city commission.
What you asked about what is ahead in the future for the rest of this year. There are a series of workshops that are focused on rules that the Office of Medical Marijuana Use has to make within the next several months. We've already been through a couple of those workshops that were first visited with pesticides, and then with dosing with physicians and edibles rules.
Yeah, I got to be a part of the one just the other day. It was really informative. And
It's an opportunity for the public to have comment with the Office of Medical Marijuana Use and let them know what it is that they want in their program. What do they want in their rules? And luckily for the citizens of Florida, there are some very talented advocates and business owners that attend these meetings and make sure that we're getting it right for people. We're trying to get it right. So following next week is another meeting, because they're setting up the rules for the third-party certified testing labs.
okay.
And then after that, there's another one in Tallahassee to revisit pesticides again. All these dates and the agendas are posted on the OMMU website.
Okay, and that is just OMMU.
It's like Department of Health. Just Google OMMU. It'll
Okay,
come up.
I'm sure we can find it. Well, all this being said, we've talked a lot, and we got all these wonderful ingredients out here. I'm getting hungry. I'm sure you're getting hungry, and I
Yes.
know in the long run that's what we're here for. So why don't we go get our hands dirty, get some cooking done, and let's see what we can create today, okay?
Sounds good,
Let's
brother.
go get this done.